This episode of Another Great Day is brought to you by Lemonade. Even lemons need assistance. It's Wednesday, March 1st, 2023. Welcome to the month of March. We're so glad you're here. I'm happy to be here. And most of all, my co-host DJ Goodheart Big Beard is happy.
Yeah, yep. Hello. I can't even speak. I was recovering from lemonade. We're in the valley of dad puns at this point.
It's going to be a great month, Chris.
We're going to drive along this river and eventually get out of it with the same metaphor that I'm saying. We're going to make it to the hilltop. We're going to make it to that hilltop.
We'll get some teleportation cola and make it to the top of Mount Everest. Yep, there we go. Well, we'd like to welcome you back to Another Great Day. We are so glad you're here. Hey, Chris, I have an idea. Let's play a quick game to get the show started today. How's that sound?
All right. Yes, that sounds good to me. Let's do it.
Awesome. Okay, this game is called What's in My Pocket and Where Am I Standing? You ready?
What? No. What? Okay. Let's give it a shot.
All right, here we go. What is in my pocket and where am I standing?
You're in a park. Yes. So I've got at least 50% right on this.
Warmer.
What's in your pocket? Good. What's in your pocket? This feels like I'm Gollum in The Hobbit right now.
And you're way cooler than Gollum. But this is your last chance. Guess time.
Yeah, I have no idea what's in your pocket. Is it a stone that is yellow?
What? That's exactly right. I have a yellow stone and I'm standing in the park. Great job, Chris.
A yellow stone in a park.
Yes. You just crushed the game of what's in my pocket and where am I standing.
I'm glad.
Well, Chris, I'm glad you worded it like that because speaking of Yellowstone Park, on this day in 1872, 151 years ago, Yellowstone Park is established by United States President Grant. The Yellowstone Act of 1872 set aside 2 million acres of land across what would become Wyoming, Montana, and Idaho. And it would also be America's very first national park. Chris, have you ever been to Yellowstone National Park?
Yes, I always get this. I always get it confused with Yosemite National Park, and I don't know why. I mean, why? I guess this Yellowstone has Old Faithful, right? Is that right?
That's right. Geysers are a big feature of Yellowstone.
So I have been to Yellowstone. I've seen Old Faithful. We walked many wooden plank paths across tons of smaller geysery, like sulfuric gas pools of hot liquid and cool colors.
Do you feel like you're on a alien planet a little bit?
I didn't at the time, but I would 100% now feel that because I am a lot more aware. I was in 8th grade, so I was not very, I don't know what the right word is. I didn't think about it that way. So now cool. I totally would. I'd be like, oh man, this is insane. Nowhere else is it like this that I know of. I'm sure it is, but I don't know.
That's really cool. I've not been there yet. I'd love to visit. I've seen really cool pictures. I remember growing up, my parents in the front room had kind of a formal living room, the room that you don't go in, no one visits, but there's perfectly kept immaculate furniture.
With the plastic
and
covered
usually
over
a coffee table. No plastic, thankfully. But we had a really cool desktop or a coffee table book in there about Yellowstone National Park. And it showed off all the geysers and kind of the iridescent coloring of the water. It was really, really neat. So, yeah. And I remember going in there and playing the OG Keepy Uppy game with all my friends. We blew up like 20 balloons and 4 of us were like furiously trying to keep as many balloons up in the air for about 2 hours. I mean, I think we were sweating. It was so much fun. Well, this next segment is called the Question of the Day. And if you're new to this, we'll ask a question and encourage you to take a minute to answer the question with those around you. We'll give you about 10 seconds to answer. And if you need more time, pause the show, come on back. Today's question is, If you had unlimited resources and your job was to build a park, what would it be like? We'll be right back. Welcome back to another Great Day podcast. Chris has just pulled out a full set of blueprints, is now showing them to me on his camera, along with a protractor, a compass, and some shading pencils.
I love this question.
2H and 4H.
I love it.
Chris, what kind of park would you build? What would it be like?
Oh, man. I'll start off by saying I worked at a skate park.
Oh, yeah.
Which was really fun to work at a skate park.
Kids, do you know what a skate park even is?
Yeah, I will describe it to you. The one that we were at, it looked like a former tennis court, but it was had a bunch of ramps on it and half pipes and rails and random things for skateboarders and rollerbladers and bicycle guys to do tricks on and fall a lot.
Lots of falling. Many a helmet has
often
been used.
Punk rock music was being played and funny jokes and good times. But a park that I would make, and it would be an experiential creation park. I don't think this exists.
No.
Like you would, instead of like having rides, you would create things. Like you might have like a huge Lego set that you do, or make tools or something, or try and make a movie on a set, like a green screen room where you go and you act out things, or you get a camera where it's a whole bunch of you get to do a bunch of things where you create things.
This is like the children's museum kind of idea, like a natural science children's museum experience place.
This is not a park
awesome
at all.
Sounding.
Not a park at all, I realize.
I love it. Well, again, listeners, we do not review these questions with ourselves before these, and it's funny how sometimes our answers are so similar, because my idea was to have, because it's unlimited resources, right? So you'd have to have reservations, but you walk up to a computer of some sort and you can basically 3D print and design your own park and hit a button. And in an instant, with unlimited resources, it builds the park that you just designed, and you get to play on it for X amount of time with as many friends as you'd like to invite, or whoever's in line that wants to play. And then when the time's up, it all dissolves, goes back to, whatever the resource is that it's being made out of. The next kid in line gets to design his, or you can design it ahead of time and submit it into the file, and it 3D builds your park, and you get to play in it and rinse and repeat.
You know what would be a really fun park in this sci-fi unlimited resource world that doesn't exist? A real life Minecraft.
Oh my gosh. That would
actually
be
make blocks appear and disappear and have like some kind of suit where you can't fall, but you can just instantly build stuff in a block
that would be
world.
So cool. Oh,
but you had to like move through it, and the things you were building were physically there.
I wonder if God ever listens to this podcast and he's like, yeah, I did that.
It's called Earth. It's called where you live. It just takes longer.
It's called the
than
universe,
Minecraft.
Bro. Look to your left and right. Enjoy real life Minecraft, young man.
It's hard. Hurt your hands when you punch trees.
There are consequences to your actions. That's a good point. All right. Well, great talk today, Chris. Enough from us. I say let's check in with our field correspondent, Wes, with the dad joke. Wes, come on in.
Hey, Aaron and Chris. It's a great day out here. There's this guy. He's just singing in the rain, and man, it's great, but he got soap in his mouth, and it turned into a soap opera. Anyways, have another great day.
Sounds like everything is pitch perfect, Wes.
Stay clean out there. All right, welcome back to another great day. I'm Aaron, and that's Chris, and we're glad you're here, and we're glad that you're still here despite these segments. This part of our show is called the Word of Wisdom, and this is where we'll take a minute to go through a proverb or wise saying and give you our take. So here we go.
Today's word of wisdom comes to us from Proverbs 20, chapter 20, verse 3. It is an honor for a man to keep away from strife by handling situations with thoughtful foresight. But any fool will start a quarrel without regard for the consequences. Here we go. There's another way to say it is, Avoiding a fight is a mark of honor. Only a fool insists on quarreling. Or another word for quarreling is fighting. Insists on fighting or arguing. Sometimes we use the word argue for quarreling.
That's awesome. Well, yet again, Proverbs hits right to the core. I've had a few thoughts on this, and I'll share them with you. A person who is truly confident of his or her strength doesn't need to make a show of it. Nope. A truly brave person doesn't go around looking for chances to prove it. A resourceful woman can find a way out of a fight. A man of endurance will avoid retaliating. Foolish people, however, find it impossible to avoid strife or conflict. Men and women of character can. What kind of person are you? And with that, my good man, let's hit the music and wrap things up. Our mission here at Another Great Day is to encourage interaction, creativity, and conversation. So even though today's show may be coming to an end, that doesn't mean your discussions have to come to an end. Whatever you do, we just hope you make it another great day. We'll see you tomorrow.
If you were a super scientist, what science award would your sci-fi super scientist person have made? What would you have found out, an invention or discovery that you would have discovered as a super scientist?
This is so easy. Teleportation cola. It's
cola?
It's a soda. Yeah, it's teleportation cola, and it's in a white can with a black and white lightning bolt going down it, and there's black polka dots in the lightning bolt, and it says teleportation cola.
So, describe the ceremony's beginning, but you're not there.
All right.
How do you arrive on the stage?
Okay, they're gonna say, esteemed guests, we regret to inform you that Dr. Aaron Power, Emeritus Chairman of the Universe, is unable to join us today. He does send his regrets. And then smoke cloud. And then I would walk out with a white lab coat on, and I have really cool, like the guy from Back to the Future, Doc. I'd have crazy hair, kind of like that. But
I'd stumble in like Kramer.
Like my young yeah, I'd look like Kramer, exactly. And I'd be like, well, hello there. Did someone say Aaron Power, Emeritus of the Universe? Don't mind if I do.
In this scenario, I'm your sidekick, and I also pop in a little bit later to much less like applause and aplomb. But I'm like holding a banner with the logo on it. I'm like, oh wait, this is the thing. It's the black and white stripes soda.
And then I say, Chris, would you like to give them the good news? And you'd walk over to the microphone. You'd say, thank you, Dr. Power. And I would say, you're welcome, Dr. Taylor, because we're both doctors in this universe.
Oh, yeah.
And you'd say, if you would just reach under your chair, everyone gets one bottle of teleportation cola. You get a teleport. And in that moment, everyone starts leaving the audience, leaving the speaker flabbergasted that I've ruined his ceremony. Because no one's there for the rest of it.
The end.